Hey, it's Skystormrex, your favorite popsicle-looking duck here. Today I am back with something that I haven't done in a while, a top 10 Minewind items video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you nerds, if you do not want Ebola. So lately I have been doing some Minecraft PvPing. I have gone through a stage where I am trying to become a better PvPer. As of right now, I'm not the best. I get wrecked by about half of the people I fight, but one day I will get there. But in the meantime, I thought I'd make you guys a list of all the items that you may need when you're fighting on the Minewind server, because honestly, I didn't have an idea of the amount of item juggling that you need to do in high skill Minewind combat. The number 11 most necessary item to have during PvP on the Minewind server would be the Dyrnwyn, which, just like my social skills, looks, and general attitude, is just pretty good at pushing people away. The knockback 5 really helps with that, but the fire aspect also makes it to where they're slightly slower unless they're resistant to fire. Also, this was some random weeb's sword before it was mine. I have no idea what it says, but it definitely has different language marks there. Yeah.
All started when she went on that adventure. Didn't come home that night. Only had on leather, yeah.
The Death Scythe's main purpose is to actually give out blindness to your enemy. And a couple years ago, this would be easily on the top of the list. However, the Azurite helmet exists now, which gives immunity to blindness, and is also really accessible to the average player. So, the Death Scythe has fallen off severely, but it still needs a place on the list. Nauseous, kind of annoying, I suppose. Also, the cake is a lie. Coming in at number 9, we have the Savalan, which is the only god shield on the Minewind server. It doesn't reflect damage like its Newind counterpart, but is still really useful against things such as Nepenthes and other players. Trying to kill you, of course. Coming in at number 8, we have the Infirmity, which is a bow that gives weakness and slowness, as well as catching your opponent on fire. The weakness makes your opponent unable to do damage to you, while the slowness makes it very hard for them to actually fight back against you. So it is infinitely useful to hit your opponent with a bow shot before going into a fight. I'd say that number 8 and below are essential to any high skill Minewind combat. The Kiga is definitely what I would call a staple of Minewind PvP. It not only starves your enemy, which is kind of nice, taking away their ability to regenerate the health that you're trying to take away from them, pretty useful, but then also, it's sharpness 25 right off the bat as soon as you buy it, so it is truly a poor man's way of dealing damage. I mained Kiga for a long time before I actually got better weapons, and I just gotta say, Prop 5 and a Kiga can carry you a long way. The Sicario bow serves a similar purpose to the Infirmity, yet a very different one at the same time. It gives your opponent slowness 4 and binds them in place and makes them unable to use Ender Pearls. Whereas the Infirmity is used to get an advantage over your opponent, the Sicario is used when you already have the advantage, and when you're trying to make sure your opponent does not get away from you. I placed it above the Infirmity just honestly because I use it more myself, but as you get up higher in this list, a lot of these items are very similar in use. You're going to want to have them all, honestly.
You're gonna quick drop when I break out my op jitter.
I think that's all that really needed to be said. Not gonna lie, if you really just spam this item, you don't really do too much losing. But that being said, a lot of people don't like Lifestealer users. Like, you'll get targeted at spawn if you use exclusively Lifestealer. So I would highly recommend against using it exclusively, only when you really need it.
Need a lot of food on this hard adventure. Should I cook the pig or the cow? I'm not sure.
Number 4 is the Succulent, which will never be a main weapon, should not ever be a main weapon for any person. Let me just get that out of the way. It is an iron axe, doesn't do much damage. However, it has its use, which is stopping your opponents from eating. And this use is ridiculously useful. When you use the Succulent and the Kiga, it can make your opponent lose all of their hunger very fast and stop them from eating. So it's pretty easy to completely stop them from even sprinting. Which, if you're going up against somebody who can't sprint, you pretty much have it in the bag.
I've got a wither for a soul and many evil goals. I prowl on your work for no reason.
The Backstabber is unlike any other melee weapon on the Minewind server. It is not meant to be held in your main hand. It's meant to be held in your offhand, as you have another item in your main hand doing the actual damage. All the Backstabber does is, if you are behind your opponent, it makes you do double damage. But that behind your opponent is a little bit glitchy on the Minewind server, so oftentimes it means behind or beside. It can mean a variety of different things.
Creeper. Oh man.
The Torcam is an absolute necessity. The Torcam is meant to be a main weapon. It is sharpness 19 off the bat, and it also binds your enemy in place, making it to where they can't just teleport away from you. Which is a pretty big problem on the Minewind server, unless you use Torcam.
Yes, I win it all, so I win it all. I wanna win all day.
Coming in at number 1 on the list, I have a combination instead of one specific item. And this combination has the Summer's Helmet, which is a Protection 6, Unbreaking 9, Golden Helmet that gives you godlike regeneration. And on top of that, I also have the Spooky Leggings, which are Fire Protection 8, Protection 10, Unbreaking 10, and increase your health pool by 100%. While alone, these items, they're pretty good. They don't really have their full effectiveness without each other. Going up against the set that I'm wearing right now, which are the Summer's Helmet, Ironhild, Spooky Leggings, and Sleipnir, when you're in a regular god set, is pretty much a death sentence, unless you're ridiculously good at the game, or the person wearing the set is not so good at the game. By the time that you can knock down the health of this seasonal god item mix, they've already regenerated it, so there's really no point. That is why this collection of armor gets number 1 on the list. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like and a comment down below. And come see me on this server right here, minewindpvp.com. It's owned by a person by the name of VX8, I believe. However, Funeral Suits made it first, so I just gotta say that right now. Anyway, that's about all I gotta say, and remember not to get hit by a car. It might not be the best idea for your overall health. Later.